Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our channel. Today I am going to present in a new video on hydrosphere. The hydrosphere by Srijan Kanduri and Setan Kanduri. Hi friends, do you know 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water, and water is very important for our survival. So let us learn about water, its existence, availability, and also let us learn forms of water and how to utilize water. Hydrological cycle. What is hydrological cycle? The process of evaporation, condensation, precipitation through which water constantly circulates on earth is called hydrological cycle. So hydrological cycle is a big process which is made with the three small processes which are evaporation, condensation, precipitation. Evaporation. It is the process by which liquid water on Earth's surface turns into water vapor. The liquid water, which is ponds, streams, like lakes, rivers, those are the liquid water. They turn into water vapor. Condensation. It, it is the process in which cool air of the atmosphere that causes the vapor to turn back into the water. That means whenever the water is totally evaporated, then it condenses and forms clouds. The water vapor condenses because of the cool air in the atmosphere. Precipitation. It is the process that water falls back onto the earth. That precipitation means rain. When cloud becomes heavy due to water, it cannot hold and it rains. Now in precipitation, there are three types of precipitation, which is rain, hail, snow. This is the diagram of the water cycle. These are the rivers and water bodies. They evaporate by sun, form a cloud, condense and form a bigger cloud which is ready to rain. Then it rains, then it comes back to these rivers, then again they go. This cycle continues all the time. Sources: rivers, canals, lakes, snows, glaciers, and underground water. Soil stored water is the source of fresh water. Rains, canals, lakes, snows, glaciers, and underwater groundwater. That means there are six sources for fresh water, and there is only one source for saline water, which is ocean. Salinity is influenced by various factors like rainfall, evaporation, river runoff, and ice formation. Availability of water. Do you know, guys, even though 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, still many countries face this water scarcity. This is because 97% of the available water is in oceans, which means it is saline and it is not suitable for human consumption. The potable water is only 3% and it is suitable for human consumption. That means here, if this is the earth, 97% 97% is saline water. 97% of the 71%, the whole percentage of water, is saline, and the small 3% is fresh water. And in that fresh water as well, 2% of the 97% is in ice sheets and glaciers, which you have to melt and then get the water. Then it is available for drinking. Only 1%, small percentage, is fresh water which is ready usable. Like you can just take it and drink. Even the most of the available of fresh water is 2% in the form of ice sheets and glaciers. Only 1% is the available water is fresh water which is readily available for use. Circulation of water. The ocean water is constantly moving. This movement is caused due to factors such as temperature, salinity, density, and prevailing winds. These movements occur in the form of waves, tides, and ocean currents. That means circulation of water has three types: waves, tides, ocean currents. Waves. The upward and the downward movement of oceanic water due to winds is known as waves. That means here that means here the waves, the upward and the downward. Here the upward and the downward is called waves. And the highest point of the wave is known as crest, and the lowest point is known as trough. Here this is crest, and this is trough, the lowest point. This is the crest, this is the trough. And over here, the vertical distance means like height between the crest and the trough is known as wave height. The horizontal distance between two crests is called wave length. Diagram of waves. This is the crest, this is the crest, this is the trough, this is the wavelength, and this is the wave height. Tides. The periodic rise and fall of the ocean water due to the gravitational force exerted by the sun and the moon on rotating earth is called tides. These tides are marked with different names depending upon their nature. High tide. When the water has risen to its highest level is called high tide. The rise and the fall happens twice a day. Low tide. When the water falls to its lowest level, like lowest level, and does not cover much of the shore, it is called low tide. Tidal range. Tidal range is not a type of a tide, but it is the difference in height between the high tide and the low tide is called tidal range. That means, again, if we go back, to our whiteboard. So this, if the high tide is still here and the low tide is still here, so here what will happen is, if the high tide has a height up to 6 meters, 6 meters, and the low tide is around 2 meters, then what will happen is the tidal range will be 8 meters. Spring tides. On new moon day and full moon day, the earth, moon, sun are in a straight line. Hence the combined gravitational pull is exceptionally strong, and tides are much stronger, means high tides are much higher and low tides are much lower. This is called spring tides. Neap tides. During the first and the third quarter of moons, the sun, moon, and earth are at a right angle to each other. The gravitational pull is of the sun is nullified by moon to some extent. Hence, tides are moderate and much weaker. These are called neap tides. Importance of tides. During high tide, the depth of the available water mouth at rivers estuary increases. This helps the ships to reach ports located in the river. That means if we have, if this is the river and the available depth is 6 meters, 6 meters, and if the high tide comes, the water level will be high. Then what will happen? 6, and if we put an estimation, the high tide will be like 4 meters. Then the available depth is 10 meters. Then any ship's depth around like 9 meters, 8 meters, 7 meters could easily pass through this. So high tides are helpful in this way. So examples of ports which use this small technique by the depth increasing technique are Kolkata port located on Hooghly river. Generally, the available depth is 4 meters. The rise of tide is about 6 meters. Hence, during high tide, 10 meters water is available to navigate the ship. Similarly, at Haldia docks and Kandla port, they also utilize tides. Due to high tides, fishes come near the coast are greatly benefits fishermen. Tides are also useful for generation of electricity, but they are also very few commercial sized tidal power plants operating in the world. The largest one is at Shiva Lake in South Korea. Tidal waves help in mixing of nutrients that help in sustaining rich marine life around the coastal regions. Ocean currents. The continuous movement of ocean water in a definite direction is called ocean currents. There are two types of ocean currents, warm currents and cold currents. Ocean currents which flow from the equatorial region towards the polar regions have a higher surface temperature are called warm currents. That means the water available at the equatorial region the water is much hotter comparative to the polar regions. So when this water flows to the polar regions with ocean currents, they have a higher surface temperature. So they are known as warm currents. Same applies to cold currents, but they flow from polar regions towards the equatorial region. So their surface temperature is low and they are called cold currents. Effects of ocean currents. Ocean currents influence the distribution of uh, temperature over the globe. Winds blowing over warm currents pick up moisture and cause rainfall. Dense fogs are created in places where cold and warm currents meet. For example, Newfoundland, where Gulf Stream and Labrador Stream meet. In the months of December, east coast of India around Kolkata and Paradeep, also thick dense fogs over the North Bay of Bengal. Survey of India, Dehradun. Now this is a fun fact. Hydrological Department, which is Survey of India, located at Dehradun, and it is managed by Indian Navy. They predict tides, ocean currents across the Indian waters and adjoining countries in Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. This is the book made by them. It is called Tide Tables, Indian Ocean, including tidal stream tables. And it is actually a collaboration with United Kingdom's Hydrographic Office. And if you like our video, like, share, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.